Well, coming up this hour, gas prices in Colorado continue going up. So on the way, we're going to talk numbers and why local officials believe this is happening.
Also, as your kids prepare to go back to the classrooms, the American Academy of Pediatrics gives their thoughts on masks in school this fall. Later this hour, what they say about this and in-person learning.
Plus, look up. Oh, look out. One of the year's best meteor showers taking place right now. So we're going to tell you when and for how long you can watch this natural light show across the evening sky. Fox 21 Morning News starts right now.
This is Fox 21 Local News right now at 6 a.m.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Fox 21 Local News right now on this Tuesday, July 20th. I'm Craig Coffey.
I'm Sarah Furguson in for Abby Burke. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to Matt. We are all back together once again. Well, besides Abby, we miss her.
Yeah, she's having a lot of fun, though.
Yeah.
She was posting pics with her fam yesterday. Her niece and her nephew, she loves them. It was on a beach. She may not come back.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little worried.
Yeah, me too. Hey, on to the forecast first this morning. Hope you've had a chance to do a little bit of traveling this summer with your family. If you haven't yet, maybe you have something to look forward to over the next few weeks, because after last year, it's kind of nice to do so. Forecast first this morning, brought to you by Brown's Heating and Cooling. Another morning where we are starting off with some hazy smoke in the skies from western U.S. wildfires, and I think we're going to keep that around here for the next day or two. So it's not great, obviously, and hopefully it's not impacting breathing for you. Here's a guy, hey, he said, what happened overnight? How do I get home? Where do I go?
He's lost.
Oh, man.
What's he doing?
Uh-oh.
I don't know. He's trying to find his way. I know that.
Wow.
I don't know. There's some cones there. Maybe he's setting up for some construction work for the day. But, you know, sometimes you do that. You wake up, you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sarah's like, oh, yeah. Hey, super quality cleaners cap, 56 this morning. It's a quiet start to the day. Other than that, smoky haze would be beautiful outside. Temperature-wise, it's nice. We're in the 50s and 60s. That look off to the southwest from the 21 state cam. Really close day to what we had yesterday, which means most of us stay dry today. A couple of our local mountain areas will have a chance of storms. We'll talk about that and why at least a few of us may see some storms tomorrow. It's all coming up in my 7-day forecast.
Matt, thanks a lot. Time right now, it is 6:04, and our top story new this morning as the Colorado Department of Public Health will now offer a new workplace vaccination program.
Yeah, through the workplace vaccination program, employers of any size can request a free on-site vaccination event. All staffing, logistics, and vaccine supplies will be coordinated and provided by CDPHE. To sign up, just head to that link right on your screen.
Well, and more coronavirus news now. With the eviction moratorium expiring this month, there's a rental assistance program for those experiencing financial hardship due to the pandemic.
Those living in El Paso County can apply for the state-run Emergency Rental Assistance Program, which provides assistance to eligible tenants and landlords. You can apply for assistance if you qualify based on income and proof of hardship due to the pandemic. For information on qualifications and a link to the application process, you can go to fox21news.com.
All right, now in state capitol news and new this morning, Governor Polis praised President Biden's recent executive action to improve hospital transparency and protect Colorado consumers from high hospital prices.
Polis said in part, quote, people deserve to know what they are being charged for hospital services. In Colorado, we have made important strides to improve hospital transparency and help save consumers money. So it's terrific to see the Biden administration follow our lead and to have a federal administration focused on driving down costs for consumers.
Yeah, President Biden's recent action directs the U.S. Health and Human Services Department to support existing hospital price transparency rules and to finish implementing bipartisan federal legislation to address surprise hospital billing.
Happening in your community, Monday was a showcase of how medical officials are bridging the gap between rural communities in southern Colorado and top-of-the-line healthcare in Woodland Park. The Ute Pass Regional Health Service allowing Fox 21 to get a look at how some of their advanced ambulances and healthcare equipment. The group provides healthcare services for parts of Teller, Douglas, Park, and El Paso counties. Paramedics say Monday was all about showing the resources and care they provide, all while saving patients and the community money.
Well, now the latest is Pueblo police arrested 2 underage boys in connection to a gang-related shooting, this in Pueblo last month.
It happened on June 25th at the Pueblo Mall parking lot. Police say 2 boys were fist-fighting with a large crowd watching them. One of the boys was handed a gun by someone in the crowd and started to shoot recklessly toward the other boy in the surrounding crowd. The person who handed the shooter a gun is already in custody for a parole violation, but the shooter remains at large. Both underage boys are charged with criminal attempt, first-degree assault, among other charges.
This also in Pueblo, police arrested 23-year-old Michael Pena in connection now with multiple shootings around the city, who now faces 3 counts of criminal attempt to commit first-degree assault, 8 counts of possession of a weapon by a previous offender, and 6 counts of prohibited use of a weapon.
Pena was already in custody in the Pueblo County Detention Center on a parole warrant, as well as a warrant for attempted murder. Another firearm tied to Pena was recovered on the date of his arrest.
Well, back in the Springs now, and for the first time in nearly a week, water is flowing again to businesses near Garden of the Gods Road after a water main break last week.
Yeah, it's the second water main failure this year that's caused major road closures, but Colorado Springs Utility says there's not a broader problem with the system's infrastructure. CSU tells Fox 21 they are constantly monitoring for pipes that are at risk of failing for a number of different factors, while age is one, but materials are another, with CSU saying that cast iron materials are corroding more quickly than steel materials.
Well, sensors on pipes track abnormal high or low pressure to help signify a problem, but CSU says they don't have the equipment to check on the pipes through the pavement, which often sits above them, and in the springs, even shifting soil can put a pipe more at risk.
Most of the time, you're not going to notice when a water main break happens. A lot of times it's in a residential neighborhood. It's a smaller pipe. By contrast, the smaller pipe in a neighborhood was 6 inches last week compared to 24 inches on Garden of the Gods. Garden of the Gods is also an arterial street, so a lot of people are going to be impacted by that and see it.
Well, Garden of the Gods westbound lanes are open now, but eastbound lanes will be closed until Wednesday while repairs finish up.
Next, if you drive, this story really needs no introduction. Gas prices are increasing across Colorado, but the million-dollar question is why?
Why, people? Yeah, so AAA released data on Monday that the average price for a gallon of gas here in Colorado was $3.59, which is the highest it's been since 2014, and it's more than $1 expensive than it was this time last year.
Economists and elected officials have given reasons why gas prices would have risen this summer, including pent-up COVID drivers returning to work and play, typical seasonal gasoline demand increases, and pandemic-related supply chain problems.
It's supply and demand. This time last year, demand fell off a cliff. It's why we're paying $1 less per gallon in July of 2020 than in July of 2021, because nobody was driving.
Yeah, McKinley also says instead of taking your road trip this summer, maybe wait until next year to see, hopefully, if gas prices will go down.
Happening today is the funeral and celebration of life for the Good Samaritan who stopped a cop killer in Arvada. Yeah, the funeral for Johnny HURLEY will be at the Arvada Center for the Arts and Humanities at noon and is open to the public, but the family is asking those who attend to respect the nature of privacy of this ceremony. Then following the funeral, a celebration of life will take place at Robbie Ferrofino Park, which is also open to the public. HURLEY was killed in a shooting that police say saved several other lives in Old Town Arvada on June 21st. According to his close friends, he carried a concealed weapon and was mentally prepared to defend someone in need. The funeral will be streamed on FOX21News.com. All right, now in more news across Colorado, and some good news now. Casa Bonita, right, a rite of passage. We all enjoy it and love it. You got to go there and check it out. Could return their menu services by as early as the end of this month. The latest bankruptcy court filing indicates that Casa Bonita is a few repairs and a couple of inspections away from reopening, and court paperwork lists a boiler which was recently repaired, and the restaurant now must pass final health and fire inspections to provide menu service. Summit Family Restaurants, Inc., which does business for Casa Bonita, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on April 6th, and menu services were shut down since March of 2020 when the pandemic began. Such a fun little place to visit. If you've never been, you gotta go. Everyone goes. You gotta go. Talking about childhood, right? Yeah. This was my childhood. Right. We went here all the time. Well, also across Colorado, not everyone is feeling festive about the Renaissance Festival that's happening in Larkspur. Yeah, those who live in the area say something needs to be done about the traffic. Now, neighbors say that they enjoy, look at this, they enjoy the festival and what it does for local businesses, but they are frustrated now by the bumper-to-bumper traffic they see weekly on residential streets. Festival organizers say that they have no control on which way drivers go and encourage people to avoid the residential areas. Now, the Renaissance Festival does run through August 22nd, so that's going to go on for a while. Yeah, that's a lot. But it does get back in those neighborhoods right there. It's a little area and a lot of people. It's the GPS that takes people there, too. Yeah. Reroute. All right. Well, in some good news, Pikes Peak Community College is providing free textbooks for students for the upcoming academic school year. That's thanks to a new partnership between the college and education technology company Slingshot. According to the college, students will save an average of $1,000 on textbooks, and the required materials will be available on the first day of classes. Next, and also new this morning, the Southern Colorado Handbell Alliance recently announced the first ever Christmas in July ring.
This is great. This Sunday at the Bandshell and Acacia Park in downtown Colorado Springs, approximately 40 handbell musicians from across Colorado Springs will join in a flash mob fashion on stage to present a variety of well-known and loved Christmas songs. And, of course, this is to get you thinking about the holiday season. It's never too early, right, to start thinking about Christmas.
I love Christmas music.
Yeah.
Such a happy...
Timeless.
You know what I mean?
Classics.
I wonder if you could play a little Christmas music with your trivia bell. Ding, 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 ding.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I could try.
Okay.
Hey, the concerts, they start at 2:15 and 3:15 and are free to the public.
All right, caught on camera, a moose was on the loose at a Colorado Springs golf course.
Yeah, Parks and Wildlife posted this video of the bull moose roaming the fairway. Now, we don't know what fairway this is.
Yeah.
It's very grassy and overgrown.
Yeah.
But there's a fairway around there somewhere. This is at the Country Club of Colorado near Cheyenne Mountain. So the big question they're asking right now is the big guy here, is it a hazard if you're on the course?
Yes. I would be going the other way.
You stay away.
Yeah.
You just skip the hole.
I'm going to go play the back nine. Yeah. A little scary there. All right, well, your time now is 6:13, and if you happen to take a trip out of the city in the next few weeks, keep an eye out for a stunning meteor shower.
That's right, later on this hour when the best time is to see an out-of-this-world light show.
Also, this upcoming NFL season, it just got a whole lot more interesting.
Said this before, best story for me of the day right here. We're not talking about the game on the field, but rather how you watch and who you listen to. So on the way in sports, details on the major announcement yesterday about Peyton and Eli Manning calling games on Monday Night Football in this new, unique twist on game coverage. But first, here's Matt.
Who couldn't listen to the Mannings and friends talk football during a game, right? Hey, pollen report from Asthma and Allergy Associates in Colorado Springs. Not doing too bad. Grasses and weeds are moderate. We'll talk about the chance of storms over the next several days and the next week when we come back. Good morning. Thanks for waking up to Fox 21. Let's punch in and go to work. Craig tells me we're heavy. We're short on time already at 6:18. I feel personally responsible for some reason, although I've only been on TV for 45 seconds, but it's side-tracked things like this that cause us to be heavy. Hey, yesterday we were in the 80s and 90s. Smoke. Yeah, that was around yesterday. It's going to be with us again today. Let's talk about how things do or don't change over the next few days. Yesterday, a lot of sunshine in the morning, that smoky haze around as we moved into the afternoon. You see here on satellite and radar, well, we thought all the storms would be on the western slope. That was certainly the case yesterday. Everything being driven by this monsoon plume on the west side of this area of high pressure. And that's going to be our focus here over the next week. I'm kind of colorizing for you the main part of the plume. And you see here that as the high shifts around a little bit, kind of drops to the south and to the west tomorrow, we'll bring that into our vicinity from the Pikes Peak region off to the southwest. Those are the areas that will have chances for storms. Keep them around over the mountains into Thursday. The farther east you go over the plains, though, I think it's going to be pretty tough to get storms. But you can see the plume here in effect, at least over the mountains of the southwest as we head through the weekend. Farther west you go, as a generality, is where storms will be more likely here. But we'll have a couple days where it gets a little closer to the front range and we'll at least have a chance. Woodland Park this morning, a little bit of haze out there from the smoke, 55, the current number there. 50s over most mountain areas, a mixture of mid-50s to low 60s for the front range and plains as we wake up this morning. 55 in Monument on the Hanson Hot Springs Spa Camera, and about the same in Falcon with that hazy look to the west from the Next Gen Windows and Doors cam. Numbers will be pretty close to what we had yesterday, and the main pattern doesn't change a lot from yesterday, but the edge of the plume shifts a little farther to the east, so we'll get the Continental Divide in on some storms as we head into today. But for the Front Range, foothills, and the plains, really darn similar to what we had yesterday, so I'm not going to change your Meister, and I'm going to go with a 9. Tomorrow, numbers pretty close again, maybe a couple degrees warmer over the plains, a couple degrees cooler over the mountains, and that's because the plume is shifting to the east, so we'll have some high clouds around, some smoke in the morning. You see the chance of storms getting a little bit farther to the east tomorrow. So Denver into the Pikes Peak region, Wet Mountain Valley into the San Luis Valley, a chance of storms tomorrow. Super slow moving, efficient rain producers. You get under one, could produce some heavy rain. Thursday, we start to shift things to the west a little bit, but I can't rule out a storm in Colorado Springs. Friday, I think it's tougher to come by. Saturday, we could catch one. Can't rule it out Sunday and Monday, but most of the activity will be over the mountains. And pretty darn warm through the period here. We're talking 80s and 90s over the plains. Friday and into next week, maybe a couple 100-degree readings over the plains away from the mountains. Canyon City, a chance of a storm Wednesday and Thursday, about the same for Woodland Park. And then a similar deal as we head into the start of the weekend, although Pueblo and Canyon City, I think, will stay dry.